Time is the only resource on earth that has been equally distributed among all of humanity. It is the one gift from the Creator that no man can claim more of and no man can have less of. Whether you are a king or a beggar, a business magnate or a street vendor, whether you live in the bustling cities of the world or in the quiet villages, every person wakes up each day with the same deposit of 24 hours. No more, no less. Money is not equal. Opportunities are not equal. Education, environment, background, none of these are evenly distributed. But time is heaven's great equalizer. And yet, it is also the most wasted, the most abused, and the most taken for granted resource in the earth. Many people are crying out for more money, more influence, more opportunity, more help. But the question is not, do you have enough? The question is, what have you done with what you already have? Every minute you've received is a measure of grace, a divine investment. And the return you give on that investment will determine the harvest you receive in life. Too many people are looking for shortcuts, for secrets, for quick paths to success, but they overlook the most powerful principle: time must be respected. Because what you do with your time determines who you become. You are not the product of your environment. You are the product of how you've spent your time in that environment. Some people were born into privilege, others into poverty. But we've all been given time, and time, unlike any other currency, cannot be stored, saved, or recycled. You can't hoard it, you can't rewind it, you can't borrow from tomorrow. Time only moves forward, and it moves without apology, without permission, and without pause. When a second passes, it is gone forever. That means that every moment you breathe is both a miracle and a measure. It is a miracle because it is a new opportunity. It is a measure because it tells heaven whether you understand purpose. Purpose is never realized in the future. It is discovered and walked in by how you spend your time today. Time is not just a tool, it is the womb of destiny. People often say they are killing time. But in truth, when you kill time, you are committing suicide on your own future. Because time is life. Life is not measured in years. It is measured in how many minutes you invested in purpose, in growth, in obedience, in excellence, and in service. A person who lives 50 years with intentionality may accomplish more than one who lives 100 years in confusion and procrastination. Success is not about speed, it's about directions. And direction is established by what you do with the 24-hour seed you are given daily. So if you look at your life today and feel like it's not where it should be, the first question to ask is, where has my time been going? Because your time reveals your priorities, and your priorities determine your harvest. You may admire people who are great in business, ministry, education, or leadership. But don't look at their talent, look at their schedule. Because the secret to their greatness is not hidden in their gift, but in their routines. What do they do when nobody is watching? What do they refuse to waste their hours on? What do they invest their time in? That's the true difference. Some are watching Netflix while others are reading books. Some are complaining while others are planning. Some are sleeping while others are building. Same 24 hours, different choices, different outcomes. There are those who pray for a new season, but seasons are not determined by the calendar. They are determined by what you do with your current time. What you prepare for, you attract. What you ignore, you lose. And what you misuse, you forfeit. So time is not just passing, it is speaking. It is declaring what you value, what you expect, and who you are becoming. Time is not only a measure of your existence, it is a mirror of your values. Show me where a person spends their time, and I will tell you what they truly care about. Not what they say, it's not what they profess in public, not what they write on social media, but what their schedule reveals. Because while words can lie, time never does. Time is the truest form of currency because unlike money, it cannot be borrowed, stolen, or fabricated. And just like money, time leaves a trail. It tells a story. It exposes hidden commitments and secret loyalties. It shows whether you are truly focused or simply busy. You can't hide from your own clock. Every hour you spend is a vote for what matters to you. You may say you want to grow, but your time is in entertainment. You may say you want to write a book, start a business, deepen your spiritual walk, strengthen your relationships, but your time is not in those places. Instead, your time is given to distractions, to convenience, to people who drain you, and to activities that lead you nowhere. Then you wonder why your life feels stagnant. The answer is not in your desire, it's in your decisions. People often ask, how can I know my purpose? The answer is not as far as they think. Look at your time, because whatever you consistently give your hours to, you're telling life, this is what I want to grow. Time is a seed. You cannot plant hours in foolishness and expect to harvest wisdom. You cannot invest your days in mediocrity and expect to reap excellence. Life responds to time stewardship. The tragedy of this generation is not lack of talent, it's the misplacement of time. We are the most connected generation, but also the most distracted. Technology has made us accessible to everything except ourselves. We are busy but not productive. We are active but not effective. We are informed but not transformed. Because we have not learned to direct our time toward our calling. You can always trace frustration back to misplaced time. If a marriage is failing, look at where the couple's time has been. If a dream is dying, look at what has been consuming the hours that were meant to build it. If your spirit feels dry, look at what has taken the time that was meant for stillness, reflection, and intimacy with your Creator. Wherever your time flows, your future grows. You don't prioritize what's urgent. You prioritize what's important. And often the urgent screams, while the important whispers. That's why many people spend their lives putting out fires, managing crises, handling other people's agendas, never stopping to ask, is this worthy of my time? You must become intentional, because time spent is never returned. It is either invested or wasted, and every moment is recorded. Your future doesn't respond to what you wish for. It responds to what you prioritize. If your schedule does not reflect your goals, then your goals are only fantasies. You can't claim you value something and then starve it of time. Whatever you don't feed dies, and whatever you feed with time grows, even if it's the wrong thing. You may be busy, but are you fruitful? You may be moving, but are you progressing? You may be working, but are you building? These are the questions that time will always answer. Because time is not only a tool, it is a test. It tests your focus. It tests your discipline. It tests your authenticity. Many want the reward of success, but they do not want to make time for the discipline that success demands. You must come to understand that every moment is an opportunity to cast a vote for your future. So if your vision is to lead, you must spend time learning. If your desire is to impact others, you must spend time preparing. If you want deep relationships, you must invest time in connection, in listening, in intentional presence. Time cannot be negotiated, it must be honored. You don't need more hours in the day. What you need is to give your current hours to what really matters. Because time is always moving, and it's either moving you toward destiny or drifting you into regret. The choice is not in the clock. It's in the hands of the one who holds it, your hands. Growth is not accidental. It is intentional, structured, and deliberate. Just as financial wealth is not acquired by simply earning money, but by strategically investing it, the wealth of life. Growth in purpose, wisdom, character, influence requires strategic investment of time. Time, like money, must be budgeted, directed, and controlled if it is to yield fruit. Many people are sincere in their desire to grow, but sincerity alone is not enough. What is missing is strategy. Time must not only be spent, it must be spent correctly. Time must not only be used, it must be assigned. Because the difference between average and excellence, the difference between surviving and thriving, is how you spend the same 24 hours given to all of us. You do not grow by default, you grow by design, and design requires clarity. You must be clear about your priorities. You must be clear about your goals. You must be clear about your identity. When these things are unclear, time becomes scattered. And when time is scattered, life becomes ineffective. Strategic time spending means directing your hours into places, people, and practices that multiply your potential and accelerate your purpose. There are areas in your life that will never grow simply because you've never scheduled time for them. You want a better marriage, but you've made no room for quality time. You want to be a leader, but your hours are not invested in learning. You want to hear from God, but your calendar is too crowded for silence. There's no such thing as, I don't have time. There's only, I haven't made it a priority. Strategic spending means saying no to good things so you can say yes to the right things. It means understanding that time is limited and therefore sacred. Every yes you give costs you something else. You must learn to evaluate the return of your time investment. Does this conversation build me? Does this project align with my vision? Does this task move me forward, or is it keeping me busy in the same place? Growth demands sacrifice. You cannot grow and stay comfortable at the same time. Strategic time spending may require you to withdraw from people who waste your time. It may require you to wake up earlier than others. Study when others are sleeping, work when others are relaxing. There is a cost to growth, and that cost is often hidden in your schedule. What are you willing to give up so you can go up? One of the greatest enemies of strategic time investment is distraction. Distraction is not just doing the wrong thing, it's doing a lesser thing when you should be doing what matters most. You must become ruthless with distractions, not because they are evil, but because they are expensive. Every moment you spend on something that does not align with your assignment is a deposit into delay, and delay, when left unchecked, becomes disobedience. Look at the most impactful people in the world. Not just the rich, but those who have changed lives, built legacies, left wisdom behind. One common denominator is how they budgeted their time. They gave their best hours to reading, writing, praying, building, mentoring. They didn't leave their day to chance. They mapped it, they measured it, they mastered it. Because you cannot master your life until you master your time. Strategic spending also means anticipating the future. Just as an investor considers where to place funds for long-term returns, a wise person considers where their time today will lead them tomorrow. You don't just work for today's paycheck. You build for tomorrow's legacy. You don't just live for pleasure, you sow for purpose. This means blocking time for development, for relationships, for health, for the inner life. What you neglect today will cost you tomorrow. And what you invest in today will bless you beyond tomorrow. Too many people want growth without discipline, results without routine, and greatness without a grind. But growth is the child of order. Growth follows investment, and growth requires that you become an architect of your time, not a slave to it. Your calendar must become a tool of purpose, not a reaction to pressure. You do not wait for time, you take it. You shape it, you assign it to destiny. Because if you don't assign your time, life will assign it for you. And life, when left unguarded, will always fill your time with what is urgent, not what is essential. Time is not just a resource, it is a responsibility. Every hour you receive is not just yours to use, but yours to steward. You are not the owner of time, you are the manager of it. And where there is management, there will always be accountability. One of the greatest misconceptions people carry is the belief that time is theirs to waste. No, time is a gift from the Creator, and like all divine gifts, it comes with an expectation. Accountability is not only about what you did, but what you could have done. It's not just about action, it's about potential. Time is the measurement system heaven uses to assess whether you've maximized your life. Every second is an opportunity to move closer to the assignment you were sent to fulfill on this earth. And when your time expires, the question will not be how many years did you live, but what did you do with the years you were given? This is why procrastination is so dangerous. Procrastination is not just a delay, it is a silent thief of destiny. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you assume that tomorrow will wait for you. But time is not on pause. It does not adjust to your feelings or your convenience. It keeps moving and it keeps counting. Every moment of laziness is recorded. Every hour of idleness is documented. You are not just losing time. You are writing your report card with every choice you make. Think of time as a divine deposit made daily into your life account. You don't know how many deposits you will receive. You don't control when the account will close. But you are fully responsible for how you spend what's been deposited. Some use their time to build legacies. Others use it to build excuses. But both will one day have to give an answer for how they handled what they were given. When you waste time, you waste purpose. When you waste time, you waste gifting. When you waste time, you delay other people's deliverance, because your assignment is often the key to someone else's breakthrough. That means your time is not just about you. It's connected to generations, to communities, to nations. Wasting time is a form of selfishness because you are withholding the best version of yourself from the world. You must also understand that your time is not neutral. It is not simply sitting still waiting for your decision. It is either producing fruit or breeding regret. You are either planting seeds with it or letting weeds grow through neglect. There is no such thing as nothing happened today. Either you happened to time or time happened to you. Either you used time or time used you. The clock does not show mercy. It simply ticks. And each tick is another opportunity slipping into eternity. There are many who are busy but not accountable. They fill their time with activity but they produce no fruit. They look busy to others, but heaven sees their barrenness. Motion is not the same as mission. Doing a lot is not the same as doing what matters. You must evaluate not only how much time you spend, but where that time is going. What has your time produced? What evidence of purpose can be traced back to your schedule? Accountability also means refusing to blame others for how your time has been spent. Yes, people may distract you. Yes, life may throw interruptions. But ultimately, you are the gatekeeper. No one can waste your time without your permission. You must take full ownership, not partial, full. Because when you stand before your Creator, there will be no one to shift responsibility to. You will not be judged based on what others did with their time, only what you did with yours. And don't make the mistake of thinking that only large achievements count. Accountability applies to the small decisions, the quiet moments, the unseen hours. What you do in private is just as accountable as what you do in public. Your secret habits, your quiet disciplines, your morning routines, your evening reflections, all of them are moments either aligned with destiny or drifting from it. There is no such thing as insignificant time. Every hour is sacred. Every hour is recorded. Every hour then.